If you've never heard of flan de queso, this is your lucky day because that's it right there. I'm gonna show you how to make it. It's really easy. It's a lot easier than regular flan. It's kind of foolproof, you know, as long as you don't screw it up like I did. But we'll get to that in a minute. All right, let's get started. So let's make the flan de queso. It's also known as Puerto Rican flan, by the way. I guess Puerto Rico has claim to fame on this one. There's the ingredients. The thing that stands out with this is the room temperature block of cream cheese. That's the 8-ounce block right there just going in. If it's not room temperature, it will not blend up very well. A couple teaspoons of vanilla. Give that a swirl right there in the blender for about a minute. Now we're going to add our 5 eggs and just blend it until it's done. Let that sit while we do the sugar. Now we're putting the sugar into a pot here over a medium-low heat. Just keep this stirring. It'll take a good 7 or 8 minutes to really get this down. I'm doing 8 individual ramekins in this, so I'm using the 2 cups of sugar, and you just divide this up. If you're only making 1, you only need a smaller amount, so about 1.25 cups should be about perfect. And while you're doing that, get a pot of water going. Fill this up as much as you're comfortable. It doesn't have to be boiling, but it has to be hot, because we're going to have a water bath, so that's going to come in handy. Use a strainer, pour this in all of your different ramekins here. Unless you're doing a single one, then just pour it all in there. This will make 8 of these pretty good sized ones. I mean, these are not small flans. We're going to set that in the oven at 350, not the 400 like I did. Put a pan or something over the glass door in the oven, otherwise the water will make the glass explode. Fun fact. But yeah, we're just going to fill that up until the water's pretty much about as high as you're comfortable with. Cook it about 45 minutes or so. Not an hour like I did at the wrong temperature. Holy cow. Okay. We're going to drain off a little bit of the water so it's a little easier to get this out without scalding ourselves. Do not tip this pan or that hot water will remove all the skin from your hands. Thank God I have never done that. All right, now we're just going to let these sit in the water bath for about an hour before we take them out, wrap them in plastic wrap, and put them in the fridge for at least 2 hours. Well, that didn't go exactly as planned. You see, I was cooking 3 things at once, and I may have inadvertently set the oven at the wrong temperature. A little bit too hot, overcooked the flans just a smidge. Also, went over by about 15 minutes. What could that do, right? A lot. I tasted one to make sure it was okay. It was the worst one, the most burnt one, and it was still perfectly edible. Just didn't have the right consistency. This should be creamy and soft and amazing. Should remind you of the perfect cheesecake with that incredible flan flavor with the caramel and the whole thing. It did. It tasted like regular flan. So I'm going to give you the correct numbers, the correct things to do. 350 Fahrenheit, about 45 minutes or so. Check them. If you take one of these and just jiggle it, this center should just look like it dances slightly, but the edges are fully set. It will puff up a little bit as it goes, but if it's going crazy or you see dark coloring on it, it's time to pull them. Keep an eye on them. That is important. You do not overcook your flan. Don't undercook your flan either. But yeah, if it's still jiggling like crazy, if you stop moving it and it's still moving, it's undercooked. If you move it like that and you can see the slightest movement in it, that's the exact point where you want it. If there's no movement, you already overcooked it. Pull it out as fast as you can. And you probably don't want it let it finish in the water bath either, because that's just going to hold residual heat. You can probably save it if you take them out of the water bath faster. There, you just got like 7 tips in one on how to fix flan when it goes badly. That seems to be my specialty, is how to repair mistakes. Gee, I wonder how I got that knowledge. Anyways, I'm going to show you how to devessel. We're gonna devessel this thing here. Now I have this covered in some plastic wrap as it goes in the fridge. Otherwise it dries out like pudding skins. That's disgusting. So a little plastic wrap on each one of these as they come out. I love the individual ones because they give you a ton of opportunities to have lots of fun with it. If you make one big one, you have to fight over the caramel. That's all yours. It's beautiful. So what do? This is a pot or a bowl of some really, really hot water. It's maybe 3/4 of an inch of water in there, something like that. This is just going to soften up the caramel, get that ready to come up in the whole thing. Do not do the knife around it before you do this. You want that full contact so that everything gets nice and loosened up. Let that sit for about a minute and then we'll come back and get it out of there. Hold on. All right, let's just say it's been a minute. Why not? Okay, this is ready to come out of here. If you feel this, the vessel is nice, and the ramekin here is nice and warm. That has transferred to the inside and liquefied all of our goodness in there, which is already liquidy anyways, but this little tip gets it out. Okay, you have to dry this off because water is not a dessert. I don't care what they tell you, water is not a dessert. Okay, we can get this out of here. We are going to take a knife. Just regular butter knife, doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you want to use a sharp knife, a paring knife, something like that, it's fine. But go around with a knife backwards. You can dip the knife in a little bit of water if it starts to stick real bad to your flan. They do tend to stick, but I found that doing the hot water bath really makes a massive difference as far as getting this out and separated. We have gone around the whole thing. Now all we got to do is say a quick prayer to the flan gods and do that. Okay, it may have dropped. It didn't drop. Okay, so what do? You take this and you just gently, there we go. Okay, now, she probably dropped. Oh, she dropped. Yeah, she did. Oh, there it is. You see that? That is flan de queso. You're welcome. All right, there's a little bit of caramel in here. You want all of it. Just kind of scoop this out. It is very liquidy. The flan, the properties of it, the moisture of it, makes this do wonderful, incredible things in here. And you didn't heat this up enough that it actually heated this, so it's still cold, so don't worry. All right, what a beautiful item right there, and ready to be enjoyed. If it had a little bit of this on the side. I'm not putting it on top because it's too pretty, but if I did this, see, now you can, that is my idea of great flan, right there. That's it. It's perfect, isn't it? It's amazing, it's beautiful. And now you know how to make flan de queso. It's more foolproof than regular flan. It really is. And just don't overcook it. Keep an eye on your temp. Again, 350. 45 minutes, should be about perfect. There you are, flan de queso. I'm gonna take pictures real quick and then I'll come back and I'm gonna eat that. But hold on one second. All right, moment of truth, folks. I've got a spoon, which is my preferred method of eating a flan. I have a flan, I have caramel here, and I have a little bit of whipped cream. Is that the perfect bite? That might be the perfect bite. That could be the perfect bite. It's pretty close. Even being overcooked a little bit, it's still so creamy. Oh my gosh, so amazing. I don't know if you can really see inside of this, hopefully. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a thing. Can I keep eating this, or do you have to? Okay, you have to go somewhere. All right, I understand. I'll eat this later in the whole thing. Why don't you make one? You eat one later, and then we'll come back, compare notes, leave me comments. Let me know how it turned out because that's amazing. So quick recap: cream cheese. That's the secret ingredient. Don't overcook it. Let it sit in the blender for a few minutes while you do the sugar. And basically don't overcook the thing. And there you go. If you want to do this in the giant flaneria, the big pan, go right ahead. Use a little bit less sugar because you won't need as much. If you've done the individual ones, you really got to go with a lot more sugar, as the recipe here showed. And amazing flan. There you go. I thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that, the thumbs up thing down there and let YouTube know that we exist. It helps the algorithm a ton. You can subscribe and you can hit the notification bell. All that stuff is completely free. It just lets you know when my next video comes out, and then you'll see me make something else that's equally as exciting as Flan de Queso, because Flan de Queso is so much fun to say, it's even more fun to eat, and it's even more fun to say, I will see you on the next video. Thanks. Bye.